Hello sophomores, this is me again, your teacher Manifer El Kuram. So last time, we have discussed about the dance and its relation to the body. So this time on this video, we will now first discuss rhythmic movements. Now, the coronavirus disease or the so-called COVID-19 pandemic may be stressful for people. One of the best ways to relieve stress is to listen to music. Following the beat of the music, rhythmic movements can be as simple as tapping your fingers, clapping, or stamping your feet. So, once you practice rhythmic body movements during an aerobic exercise or dancing, you will enjoy its health benefits that improve the quality of your life. So, in this video, you will learn about rhythm, its elements, and the different natural movements of the body. Now, it also includes different activities for you to practice rhythmic body movements that will make you move and relieve your stress. Now, let us proceed. What is rhythm? So when we say rhythm is a bodily responses made to any type of rhythmic accompaniment. It includes a set series of specific pattern or sequential actions. All works of art require rhythm. It is the most clearly seen through dance or the so-called the what we call art of movement. Rhythm is a natural movement to every individual. The beating of your heart, the movement of your lungs as oxygen is taken in and carbon dioxide is forced out of your system, and the other movements of the organ systems in your body is also a rhythm. Now, another thing is our universe is also works in a system of rhythm. For example, the movement of the earth around the sun and the moon around the earth create the movement of day and night, and that of the tides. Nature itself now is a manifestation of rhythm. Now, when you move in response to a particular rhythm or music, we call the movements as rhythmic movements or rhythms. Let us proceed to the different elements of rhythm. Your movements are affected by the different elements of this rhythm. They are the following. First, the beat. The beat is the underlying pulse of a rhythm. We have also the measure. The measure is a group of underlying beats. We also have the pattern. Pattern refers to the grouping of sounds or beats related to the underlying beat. And next is tempo. Tempo is the rate of speed of movement, whether it is fast or slow. Next, we have the accent. Accent is the emphasis of a certain beat. And then phrase. Phrase is the measures that are grouped together. And while intensity, it is the variation of stress of movement. And when we say syncopation, it is the shifting of a regular metrical accent. Now, let us discuss what is about beats or the beat in a rhythm. Now, take a look on these different symbols. So, this symbol indicates the notes. Sige lang, kaya lang. And while this symbol indicates the rest. So, we have here different beats. We have here the whole note and the whole rest, the half note and the half rest, and we have the quarter note, quarter rest, the eighth note, the eighth rest, the 16th note, the 16th rest, and the 32nd note and the 32nd rest. So, if we are going to count for the beats of the whole note, it consists of 4 beats. So, meaning to say there are 4 beats in the whole note. There are also 2 beats in a half note or a rest. There are also a single beat in a quarter note or a quarter rest. There is a 1/2 beat to a 8th note or the 8th rest, and there is also 1/4 beat to the 16th note or the 16th rest, and there is a 1/8 beat to a 32nd note or the so-called 32nd rest. So these are the corresponding beats of the following symbols, the following notes, and the following rest. Now, let us proceed to measure. So as you can see on the staff or on the illustration, we have here the staff, which consists of 5 lines and the different notes. Now, ang measure dito sa illustration na to ay what? 4/4. The measure is 4/4 because every group or every pattern has a 4 beats. So yun yung measure. While for the pattern, when we say pattern kasi, it refers to the grouping of sounds or beats related to the underlying beat. So ang pattern ngayon na makikita ninyo dito ay ang mga sumusunod. This is the first pattern, this is the second pattern, and the third pattern. So for the first pattern, if we are going to count that, or if we are going to demonstrate that through clapping, it goes like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. So yun yung clapping niya kasi whole note yun. Kasi tulad ng sabi ko kanina, kapag whole note, there are 4 beats. Now dito naman, there are 2 quarter notes. Each quarter note consists of 2 beats. So if you are going to clap, the pattern here, the second pattern, it goes like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. Next, for the last pattern, if we're going to clap that, it goes like this: 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Nakuha. What about the phrase? So, when we say phrase, it is the measures that are grouped together. So, if it is now grouped together, tulad nito, so all of that are now the so-called phrase. Next, we have the different natural movements. So, the natural movements are classified into 2. We have the locomotor and the non-locomotor or the axial movements. So, when you move your body in any direction with your feet as the moving base, this is called the locomotor movement. But, if the various parts of your body move in a space without moving from any direction, this is called non-locomotor or axial movements. Now, these movements are the foundation when you participate in any games, sports activities, dance, gymnastics, stunts, and aquatics events, since these are all natural movements that our body creates. Now, here are the examples of locomotor movements. First, we have walking. When we say walking, that is moving at a moderate pace on feet, lifting one foot only after the other foot has touched the ground or the floor. We also have running. Running is moving on foot with springing steps at rapid pace such that for an instant, both feet are off ground during each step. Next, we have hopping. Hopping is springing on one foot and landing on the same foot. We also have leaping. When we say leaping, it is springing on one foot and landing on the other foot. While galloping, it is the moving in continuous forward or sideward direction with one foot leading. And skipping is the same procedure as in hopping, but bouncing lightly with alternative steps and hops. Now, when we say jumping, it is springing and taking off with one foot and landing on both feet. So those are the examples of locomotor movements. Next, we have the different non-locomotor movements or axial movements. First, we have bending. When we say bending, it is contracting or shortening of a body part from a joint. For example of bending, we have the half knee bends, the full knee bend, the trunk forward bend, the trunk sideward bend, the arms forward bend, the head forward bend, the head sideward bend, and the elbow bend. Next, we have circling. Circling is moving the body or body forming a circle. Kaya siya circling. For example, we have the right arm circle forward. We have the left arm circle forward, and also the both arms circling. Next axial movement, we have pulling. Pulling is an act of lodging or towing an object towards or with the body. For example, pull with one arm and pull with both arms. Next, we have pushing. Pushing is an act of shoving an object away from the body. When we say pushing, examples are push with one arm or push with both arms. Next, we have rolling. Rolling is an act of transferring weight to adjacent body parts around a central axis. For example, pag-roll. Next, we have rotating. Rotating is the turning of the body parts around a central axis. Examples are head rotation and trunk rotation. Next, we also have stretching. Stretching is just simply extending or straightening a body part from a joint. While swinging is moving the body or body parts from a joint resembling a pendulum. Example, arms swinging sideward. Next, arms swinging overhead. Next, we also have swaying. Swaying or hitting. Iba pala yun. Striking pala yun. Swaying. Swaying is moving the body or body parts from a joint side to side. Yun yung swaying, side to side. While, example of swaying is body swaying right and left. Next, we have the striking or now the hitting. Yun yung hitting kanina. Hitting or striking is giving an impetus to an object with a hit, punch, or tap. For example, arms strike with closed fist. Arms strike with open fist. Or maybe hit with one hand or hit with both hands. Next, we also have twisting. Twisting is turning the body or body parts to one side. For example, head twist and trunk twist. And for the last axial movement, we have vibrating. Vibrating is just simply shaking off the body parts or beating movement. Example, shake arms and hands rhythmically, shake hips and shoulders to rhythmic pattern, and vibrate entire body rhythmically. So those are examples of vibrating. So we're done with the different natural movements, and I think that's the end of our presentation. See you on our next video discussion. Goodbye, sophomores. Kaya natin to.